Morning, everybody.
Omaha Steaks is rewriting the book on burgers with an all-new handmade texture for the juiciest home-style burgers you've ever tasted.
Keep an eye. You can see.
I can see one window.
Aged Omaha Steaks. These are truly steaks on a bun. Filet mignon, ribeye, New
Did you
York
text
strip,
them?
sirloin, and
No.
even brisket burgers. Now is the
You know it's
time
to
to
come.
experience
Yeah.
the exclusive Burger Perfection Club
Driving,
for
you know what I mean?
just $79.99. Go to omahasteaks.com and use promo code TREAT at checkout to get an extra $20 off your order plus free shipping. You'll get 4 of each pure ground.
I wouldn't
burgers,
mention
so
it in
you
case
can
he doesn't
sample
show out, you know
the
what I mean?
steak on a bun greatness.
Okay.
She should. Are we taping now? Are we on Facebook?
Yeah, we're on
Making
Facebook.
your mouth water with every single bite. Don't wait. Go to omahasteaks.com. Use promo code
If we
TREAT
put
at
porn in
checkout
about a
and get
minute.
$20 off the Burger Perfection Club
Okay.
and discover your new burger obsession. Order may be required.
Turning now to USA Business News. The Dow ending the session Friday at 38,109, up 60 points at the close of trading on Friday. The NASDAQ off 55 points and the S&P 500 down 3 points. So how is the economy doing and is Bidenomics actually working? Corey Myers takes a look.
According to Treasury Secretary Janet
Wow.
Yellen,
His alarm
the
didn't go off.
economy is
What?
strong
His
and
alarm
should
didn't go off.
continue to grow in a
Oh.
positive direction. Yellen
What does that
sat
mean?
down with
He didn't make
ABC
it.
News
Okay.
and told Elizabeth Schultz how
Fine.
she sees things.
We have an economy
They're always
that
doing
has
it all the
been
time.
growing at a good, healthy pace. Consumers and households feel confident enough about their own personal financial
We'll do it all the time.
situation.
I told him rain check for February. We got some time in February, right?
Yeah.
Be spending in a way that's creating jobs.
Maybe March.
is creating
Yeah, March.
growth,
When's the
and then we
draft?
have income to go on doing
April.
that.
Yellen
and
also
we can
says
talk
there's
about
no
the,
obvious
UFL too.
reason why the country
Yeah, he
would
is
enter
maybe.
into a
He doesn't have
recession.
anything about it.
I'm Corey Myers.
The LA Times announcing a large wave of layoffs. The paper says it plans to cut roughly a quarter of its staff, or about 115 people, from the newsroom. These job cuts expected as the owners of California's largest daily paper say it's losing between $30 and $40 million a year. And I'm Laura Winters, USA News.
Do you have a story to tell? Bring your story to life with audiobooks. Great stories deserve great storytelling.
Do football?
Audiobook Network provides
Yeah,
professional
I guess
voice
so.
actors
Yeah.
and full production services for every author's
Probably couldn't
manuscript.
make
From
it.
narration, production, and editing to distribution, promotion, and sales, Audiobook Network handles everything.
I have
If you
less of a
a
reason to do
ebook,
sports
or even
now,
a
but
manuscript, call
I
Audiobook Network
will
now.
try to do a little bit.
Well, you promised sports, so try to.
734-1229.
You could dissect those four games, right?
Oh yeah.
Is that 4 games or 2 games?
But yeah, I can dissect.
Is that 2 games?
Yeah.
Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association is an
On.
association of combat veterans from all branches of the United States Armed Forces who ride motorcycles.
You want my iced coffee?
I don't want your iced coffee
To support those
for the
who have
10 millionth time, dude. I don't.
Our
I don't want to get you sick.
The Facebook people are seeing
Just
grumpy-
in case I'm still sick. I do not want to get you sick.
Facebook people are seeing a grumpy Joey this morning.
from nearly all 50 states and living abroad.
No, you just asked the same question about 50 times.
Well,
Of course I'm gonna get
I can pull out my straw and give it to you because I can drink Tom's coffee.
Participate
You do the hustle.
in many motorcycle-related charity events each year, and as a non-profit organization, donate to various veteran care facilities and veteran charities. To learn more about the Combat Veteran
I like my
Motorcycle
coffee a
Association
certain way,
how
and
you
it's
can
not
show
your
more
way, so.
support, please visit cvma2-2.
Go from Mr. Grumpy to Mr. Smiley as soon as you turn that on air button.
Views expressed on this program are those of the host and do not express the views of WBDF ownership or Hometown Talk Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests. Hey, Joey, what's happening? I mean, what's
I
happening
have
in Middleboro
things
and
up a certain
surrounding
way.
towns? It's time for
You know what, I'm gonna keep
Weekend Review with your host, Joey Driscoll.
I had the Facebook set up a certain way today, but we don't have a guest, but I'll just keep it.
Hey, Joey, what's happening?
Like, and what do you look like? Okay. And good morning, and welcome to Middleboro in Review. I am Joey Driscoll. Today is the 28th of January, 2024. It is post-Royal Rumble Sunday. Yesterday was WWE's first big live event of 2024, that being the Royal Rumble. Very, very fun. I'll tell you that right now. Cody Rhodes winning for the second year in a row. A feat that has not been done in 26 years since Steve Austin did it in the late 1990s. So that was a while ago. I think it was 97 and 98 that Steve Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin, went back to back in the Royal Rumble. Well, Cody Rhodes did it last night, and Bayley winning the Women's Royal Rumble as well. Roman Reigns retaining his championship, and the United States Championship match was pretty good too. Logan Paul, the champion right now, retaining his championship under less than great circumstances, but oh well. Well, so it was kind of a shorter kind of pay-per-view, only 4 matches. The two Royal Rumble matches were 2 hours of the pay-per-view, but very good pay-per-view. That sets up pretty much everything going forward for WrestleMania season. WrestleMania season underway, 69 days away in Philadelphia. Going to be fun there, but yeah, just wanted to quickly mention that. Royal Rumble is over, and now I'm looking towards WrestleMania season. We pretty much know the 2 big main events that we have an idea what the 2 big main events will be, so that'll be fun. All right, I am Joey Driscoll. I am joined by Dawn today. Good morning, Dawn. How are you today?
Good morning, Joey. How are you?
Good. Not bad today. Not bad. It is still dark outside, unfortunately, but that's fine.
Well, we're getting to the point in the year where we're starting to notice it at the 5 o'clock hour, staying light out. I'm noticing it anyway, so it's not really getting pitched, until a little after 5 o'clock. And that was the case yesterday, even though it was a little overcast or whatnot. And we'll start winning out in the morning too, I think. Give it a couple more weeks, we'll start seeing this, I mean, it's overcast too, so I mean, if it wasn't over, we'd have the clouds. It'd probably be a little bit brighter out right now at this point in time. No.
Speaking of the weather, it is cloudy outside, because of course it is, because this is the 60th day in a row that it's been cloudy. 39 degrees today, possible mixture of rain and snow in the forecast. Same thing for tomorrow. I think it's going to be too warm for it to be straight snow. Maybe during the nighttime, but I think it's going to be too warm for it to be straight snow. So any forecast of snow that we are going to get, I don't think will be too serious at all.
Well, it's played by ear.
Correct there.
Well, it's played by ear in the morning. You could have icy roads.
Yes, you could. You most likely have icy roads going into Tuesday morning.
Yeah, the black ice is really really bad.
It'll stay above freezing tonight.
Yeah,
so
you don't know though.
You don't know, but it'll stay above freezing tonight. So it should be less of an issue tomorrow morning than it will be Tuesday morning, because Tuesday morning, Monday night is supposed to be in the 20s.
Right. Well, just play it by ear.
And Tuesday, it's not really about up to 30.
Every roadway is different. I mean, you take Route 105, AKA the tunnel, when you head in 105 north, going up through East Middleboro.
That might be an issue.
That's what I'm saying. If it's a shaded situation on the road, subtract some degrees. So sometimes, and I've seen it so many times too, coming over that hill. Anybody who's listening knows the tunnel in Middleboro. It's the tree tunnel on Route 105, heading north towards Halifax. You come over the hill and you start going down, and you have that shaded area, and then you have -5 degrees in that area, and the road freezes. And so many years I've seen people slid off the road. One day I saw 3 people on that little stretch there. So if you're on the edge, you're talking where you're getting shade and where you're not getting shade. This is during the daylight hours. Still, I'm talking. I guess obviously it doesn't matter, but it does matter even with tree cover sometimes. So it's important to slow it down.
Taunton, 35 degrees outside. It says it's snowing. I'm looking at it here. It is not snowing outside. I can tell you that right now. We just came from outside. It is not snowing.
Not yet.
It's not. It's not.
And we are in the center of the universe.
This is 14 Church Green.
Center of the universe. Center of Taunton.
Yeah.
That's
It's pretty much right in the center of Taunton.
Well, technically the center of Taunton
Is it just a little bit,
is
outside here?
right. It's
But we're pretty close. And it is not snowing, even though it says it is. It's not. It is cloudy skies today. So
it's drizzling a
right
little
now,
bit. It's drizzling a little bit.
drizzling, rain,
Yeah.
not snow. Again, same thing for Taunton. Mixture of snow and rain possible today. It says cloudy tomorrow, so maybe we're a little further from Middleboro, so maybe the weather is maybe a little bit different here for tomorrow. Gonna be cold tomorrow night though, so definitely be careful when driving around.
Yeah, especially with all this rain. It's just again black ice is
because it will become icy.
No joke, black ice.
Driscoll, Texas, 47 degrees. Right now, a high of 68 today. So a seasonable day, I would say, in Texas for January. 70 degrees tomorrow. It's going to be in the 70s pretty much all week. So pretty nice day today in Driscoll, Texas. Driscoll, North Dakota, 28 degrees. I would say that's pretty above average for late January in Driscoll, North Dakota. We're kind of in a stretch now where it is above average weather-wise in Driscoll, North Dakota. It's usually near zero, but not today. 28 degrees, sunny skies all week. No rain in the forecast at all. It's going to be a great week in North Dakota, especially Wednesday, where it could be at the upper 40s. So really nice way to end January in North Dakota. So that's great. That is your weather for today. Let's move over to the Today in Histories.
Oh yeah, also too, you gotta mention about, supposed to have a guest.
Oh yes, we were supposed to have a guest today. Unfortunately, he is not able to make it, but we will reschedule with him for sometime in March.
March or April.
March or early April.
Maybe when the draft.
Right around when the draft happens.
Yeah.
As well.
That'll be something to talk about because Tom was going to talk about football.
And also the new football league will be underway at the end of March.
Yeah.
So maybe at the end of March, early April is when we'll have
Sometimes things go awry because it's so early to get here. I mean, it's so early to get here, and sometimes whatever, people can't make it. But everyone who does show up at 7, and we really appreciate getting up early and come and join us in the studio because I think live live people in the studio really makes a show, in my opinion. Phone's all right, but it's just something about having a live, interaction.
Exactly.
It's so much better for a show, in my opinion. I just think the dialogues get better. You get eye contact. It's important, I think.
It is very important.
But we will schedule Tom sometime. I got to talk to him. I mean,
again, late
got the
March.
text. I don't know. Whatever. Sorry, some kind of I can't make it.
Late March, early
Who knows?
April is fine.
But that's fine. We'll reschedule. But we do have Chuck Hart.
Next week, yes. Next Sunday.
Residency.
And I do have a guest on Middleboro Matters this upcoming Thursday, a friend of mine. His name is Eric. and he'll join me, and you'll get the sports,
Tell
the dose of sports.
Tell us a little bit more about Eric. He does a
everyone
lot.
that was expecting the dose of sports for today will definitely get it on Thursday.
Well, glad he shows up.
He will.
Yeah.
He'll definitely show up.
Well, tell us a little bit about Eric then. I mean, what's
me and Eric, great friends.
Yeah.
Since.
But he's been doing sports
early days
broadcasting for a while, hasn't he?
of us being in school. Yes, he's doing a lot of sports broadcasting. When he was in school, he called a couple of baseball games and a couple of softball games. Actually, I think it was mostly just baseball, but he did a couple of baseball games.
He was really good at that.
He's really good at it, and he has done a lot of podcasting work with his father. They have a show together, Done with Sports. Very good.
Done with sports?
Done with Sports. DUNN with Sports.
That's a cool name.
Yeah. Very good good podcast.
Yeah.
If you want to learn everything about what's going on with Providence Bruins.
Yeah, he's a big Providence Bruins guy, right?
Yes, we'll be talking about the Providence Bruins big time on Thursday. We'll be talking about the WWE as well. Me and him are huge WWE fans. Again, as I mentioned at the top of the hour today, yesterday was Royal Rumble, which is a huge deal. And it was a huge deal for St. Petersburg, for St. Pete last night. St. Petersburg, Florida last night. The Clearwater, St. Petersburg area had a huge night tourism-wise because of the Royal Rumble. The attendance records last night set a Tropicana Field record for any type of event, including a baseball game. So the Royal Rumble did big numbers, tourism-wise, and St. Pete is just a beautiful area. St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Tampa area is just a beautiful, beautiful area. Me and John have been there several times. We have family in that area, so just a beautiful area to live. The Clearwater area, the Tampa area, the Newport Richey area, places like that. Clearwater has some great beaches, and they have the sponge docks as well. So they just have a lot of great things there in that area. So great place to have a WWE event like that. Again, it broke records, and there was just a big tourism night last night for that area, and a big night for Tropicana Field that will be going away pretty soon. Tropicana Field will be torn down apparently, from what I've been. Yes, I saw that. I'll get to that in a second. Tropicana Field apparently will be torn down because the Rays are building a new stadium. So that should be interesting. I think that's going to happen before the end of the decade. But I want to mention here, while we're on the sports real quick, I want to mention the passing of Phil Bristle. Phil Bristle is a very important figure in New England Patriots history. Every time you see the Patriot logo,
the old one?
The old one, yes. Yeah. The Pat Patriot logo, Phil Bristle comes to mind. He was the creator of that, and he passed away this week, so I wanted to mention that.
Which one do you like the best? The old one or the new one?
I like the Flying Elvis.
The new one?
Yes, I like the Flying Elvis, but I do respect Pat Patriot quite a bit. I like that logo. I like the uniforms.
Why'd they change it? I wonder.
I don't know. They're in their first year. They had like a colonial hat, like those colonial hats. I don't know what you call them, but that was their logo for their first year. And then Pat Patriot came in, and that was their logo for many years.
When the Elvis things in the 90s?
I think the 90s.
Yeah.
the early '90s.
The Flying Elvis.
The Flying Elvis. Yeah, and that
Funny,
will,
it's funny.
that will never go away. That's gonna be our logo for decades.
Well, I
decades.
think
that's not gonna change.
I think they're thinking when they created that image, they probably didn't want the Flying Elvis, you know.
No.
But it looks that way. I mean, the fans named it.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Those two logos, the Pat Patriot and the Flying Elvis, those are never gonna go away. Those are logos that are gonna stay with this organization for many decades going forward. We might not, no longer have the colonial hat there during that first season, but maybe it'll make it come back one of these days. I doubt it, but because you have a great alternative logo now and great uniforms and stuff like that. You're not gonna see.
Don't they play in the old uniforms like once a year?
They play in the old Pat Patriot uniforms. Yes, I think it's a couple times a year, not just once.
I like how they do that. That is. I like that. That's.
Yes,
I like that. I think
history.
that's a touch of class in my opinion.
It's history.
It is history. It is good that they have them and
I like that.
they acknowledge that. I mean, you move forward with the new logo and whatnot, but remember the old.
Yeah.
Because
it's really good.
There's a lot of older people who remember seeing that uniform every week, especially people who are diehard Patriots fans. I mean, you're talking Ed Miller, okay?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. He's had season tickets. We've had a conversation with him about. He's had season tickets forever, so he's had season tickets when.
That's how Robert Kraft got started out. He had season tickets
when they were losing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have to look at a fan who's really, not just a fair weather fan, but a fan who's
a dedicated fan.
Dedicated, going through years of loss and years of heartbreak, and always got the tickets. And it was like a rite of passage, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
And now they won. So, I mean, you can't, like you said it a couple weeks ago, we had great tenure. We had a great run.
We had a great run, yeah.
Okay, so for anybody,
not all runs last forever.
Right. And it was longer than most, I think.
Very.
Brady and Belichick were a good team, plus the rest of the team. You can't forget the rest of the team. And when you go to the rest of the team, you're talking about everyone that makes a click. You're talking about all the other coaches. You're talking about the people who maintain the stadium, to the person who takes your ticket, to the person who works at the concession stand. It's a team effort.
There are very few teams that rival what we were able to do. So Lakers maybe come to mind. The Celtics maybe come to mind.
Right. So in my opinion, I think you're a little spoiled kid.
Yeah. A little bit.
If you kind of badmouthing the whole situation and you're not too happy with Belichick because you think Brady's better, and it's petty. I mean, what they did together.
Yeah, because it negatively affects. It negatively affects Brady. It negatively affects Belichick. It's negatively affecting Belichick. All of the stuff that over the past couple of years.
There's no reason for that. It just
all
happens.
the piling on has negatively affected Belichick. He is unable to find a job in the NFL now because.
So Chicago's out. I mean, Seattle's out. Seattle's out.
I don't know.
No.
But teams just have a negative thoughts about Belichick because of all the news.
I'm sure he wants all the money too.
Exactly. Yes.
I mean, they're kind of looking at it.
Maybe
the college thing, like you said on
I think
Thursday.
Seattle is the only place that's open.
Maybe he go college, like you said on Thursday.
He could go college. I still think he'll coach the NFL again. But if I was Belichick, I would go college for this upcoming season. If there's an opening in the college ball, I would go college for this year.
Maybe
sign a 1-year deal.
Maybe Pete Carroll and
with a team that can easily replace Bill Belichick when he goes to leave for the NFL in 2025. Because if he signs with the college team, it'll be a 1-year deal. Because he'll have a lot more options next offseason.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Maybe Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick can do a talk show, The Odd Couple.
Well, I mean, those are two guys who coach here.
Is Bill Parcells still alive?
I believe he is. Yes.
Uh-huh.
So they have ties here. Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick, both have ties here.
So Pete
it'll
Carroll,
be interesting.
Pete Carroll isn't coaching either.
No, he stepped aside.
Right.
He is still with the Seattle Seahawks organization, but he has stepped aside when it comes to head coach. He's something different. I don't know what his role is.
I don't know. Maybe Bill Belichick might want to get into broadcasting. I mean, a lot of people say he really doesn't have the pipes for broadcast, but who say that?
So
I mean, he's been interviewed so many times. He just doesn't have no patience for the press.
I love Belichick, but he just does not have the charisma or the pipes to do anything.
I think he can't say that. People want to hear what he has to say. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter about the delivery
Bill Belichick
package.
is Bill Belichick.
Well, that's fine. That's what people want. People don't like.
I don't think he would do sportscasting. I really don't. I really do not. I don't think I wouldn't watch it. I love Bill Belichick. I love Bill Belichick.
I know you wouldn't watch it. You
I
would
would.
watch it. Don't tell me you wouldn't watch it.
I would watch it for like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
But
you know. How do you know?
I like him better on the sidelines instead of calling a football game. Same thing with Brady. I like him on the sidelines. I like him on the field rather than calling a football game. But I think Brady would do better than Belichick.
Maybe they should do like a Sonny and Cher kind of show, and they could sing and stuff.
Unless you put Brady and Belichick together. If you put Brady and Belichick together in the same broadcasting booth, that would be money. Immediate money.
A show. Just a show. And Belichick, they could talk about all they want. Because what? Belichick may talk a little slow. Who cares? I mean, it's not how he says it, it's what he says. It's just, you could go walk up to a scientist who knows everything.
Because he's just a genius.
You can walk up to a scientist who just knows everything. And you want to get something, you want to hear something.
I would like to see Belichick do like an in studio kind of show.
Yeah.
Not calling a football game, but doing an in studio kind of football show with maybe Brady,
anybody,
and maybe Teddy Bruschi or something.
No, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
just call it. Do something.
He doesn't even have to have a co-host. He can run it himself and have guests and
do something local.
Yeah, I think it'd be all right. I think he has the chops. He'll be all right.
Do something local. I mean,
why do you need charisma?
If he wants to, work with the Patriots organization on something.
Why do you need charisma? What he says is right. What he says is
exactly.
true. What he says is wisdom.
Well, in today's broadcasting world, it's at least with the big dogs.
I remember
a lot of the announcers out there.
Yeah.
They have this ability to really pull a crowd in.
Yeah.
That's what it is this time. That's what it is at this point.
I just
you have guys like Tony Romo. He has the ability to pull people in with what he says.
But it seems like a lot of them to me sounds like they're selling me a used car. I mean,
that's the problem.
I like Al Michaels.
That's the problem.
I like Al Michaels. Al Michaels
has back to the era of John Madden. We need to go back to the era of John Madden when it comes to sports.
Yeah, it just seems like they just want to sell me insurance too. They want to sell me a used car. It's just it's too nice.
We're entering another era.
It's too nice. It's too fluffy. It's too this. It's too that.
Because we're entering a new era.
Because when Belichick gets to the microphone, he's gonna push you down to a certain level.
Yeah.
Meaning he's not gonna talk fast. He's gonna be that's Belichick. But that's who he is. And the whole idea in broadcasting, in my opinion, and we're broadcasting because we're on the radio here in Taunton, Massachusetts, that Belichick just is himself. He changes the dynamic.
You know what he would work perfectly if it's sports broadcasting on the radio. I think it would work really well.
Either that or on TV, a show.
If he calls games, I would like it to be radio.
He doesn't want to call game. He doesn't want to do. He's not. He's not. He's good. He's an analyst. What do you think, Bill? What
Or
do you think
maybe
this guy's going to do?
pregame
What's the
analyst
draft look like?
on a radio broadcast.
Well, to wrap things up, because we've got to take our first break. It's
Yeah,
getting
we
late here. But to wrap things up is when you see Bill Belichick and all his coaches huddling on the sideline during the time when they were winning all the time, you know, I look at it like strategic thinking, like generals, strategic thinking. I mean, you can't cross correlate the both. I mean, obviously, war is war and football is it's only football, but just the strategy of what they did, you know, because some of the games they pulled off last minute, they always come back.
Yes.
And some of the Super Bowls, they were never ahead. One of the Super Bowls, they were never ahead, and they ended up winning. Maybe was that with the Falcons?
49, yeah.
Yeah.
Super Bowl 49.
Yeah, they were never ahead.
Yeah.
And he's able to come back. So, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I like Bill.
You have someone like Al Michaels calling a game like that.
I like
that's
that.
perfect.
Yeah, he's
Al Michaels.
I can't see Bill calling anything. I could see him doing like a little half-hour show, and that's it.
If he does call something, I would like it to be
No.
radio-wise.
No, he won't be. He's not going to be an announcer to call play-to-play. He can't be bothered. He's not going to.
No, I think it would most likely be in a studio setting.
Well,
you're right.
All right, put it to you this way: if you had Bill Belichick in the studio here, okay,
Yeah.
and you had a chance to talk to him for 10 minutes, would you want him to call the game, or would you want to ask him questions? What would you rather do?
Oh, I think anyone would want to ask him questions.
There's so many
That's
questions to
important.
ask that man.
Yeah.
So, and maybe someone will pick him up. We'll see. I mean, we could be having a different conversation next week with
Yeah.
Chuck. I
Yeah.
think Chuck knows a lot about football because he played high school football.
All right, let's take our first commercial break right now. When we come back, we're gonna have our state histories. We have a lot. This day is a pretty important day in history, for many reasons. So we'll be right back here on Middleboro Review at 15:30 a.m. 99.7 FM WVBF. Yeah, like the Patriots, like they really need like a pre-game radio program.
Yeah, but I don't think Bill will do it for the Patriots. I just think he'll do it.
I think he would do it for anybody.
It'd just be an all-around show for what's hot in the NFL.
Yeah.
You know, our show.
Like ESPN needs that. Like ESPN is garbage. They need something like that, to, like boost their ratings.
Why, their ratings down?
Their ratings have been down for years. ESPN's terrible. ESPN is no longer in their golden age.
Well,
They haven't been in their golden age in a
Tom,
while.
every time I'm in the truck with my brother, right?
Yeah.
It's always the same guys. It's always the same guys.
Yeah,
All right,
because
and
they're
I-
reliable and they're good.
Well, whatever. But I mean, even like 5-6 years ago,
Yeah.
and they're talking politics, and I says, "This is a sports show. Why are these guys talking politics? Why are they
Because that's the world we live in. That's unfortunate. That's the world we live in.
But sports radio should be sports radio.
I know.
If you want politics, turn to the politics. That's all I'm saying.
I know, but that's the world we live in.
But I mean, it's
And that ain't gonna change.
yeah. But that's me changing the channel. If I want to hear anything about
Yeah, then
sports,
people will just change the channel.
that's what I'm saying. That's why.
And then eventually the show will go off air.
Right.
You know, 'cause
and then
those
eventually
are
they're going to go back to where they should have been doing, is talking
Exactly.
about sports.
Yes.
I mean, sports talk.
Yes.
Talk about sports.
Yeah,
I mean, it's simple as that.
exactly.
You want to talk politics? Go to the politics channel.
Yeah, this is yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sports and politics.
I hate the idea.
Sports and politics, they don't mix.
I hate the idea of
Don't put it in.
everything getting hijacked.
It,
know what I mean?
it's bad. The sports, the politics being talked about in sports, it's no.
I'm drinking Tom's coffee again. It's delicious.
And Sunday mornings at 9
Good.
on AM 1550 or 99.7 FM WVBF, your hometown radio station.
All right. Got those up. Blue mic is up. Red mic is back. Okay. There we go. All right. And welcome back to Middleboro in Review. We're back. 7:38 a.m. Open phone lines 508-822-1106 if you want to call in and talk about anything we've talked about so far. Bill Belichick, WWE.
I guess we kept it sports.
WWE Royal Rumble, Belichick. If you want to talk about the beautiful area of St. Pete and Clearwater.
I used to live in Clearwater.
Beautiful area.
I lived in Clearwater.
You have the sponge docks there?
Yeah, no, I lived in Tarpon Springs.
And Tarpon Springs that has a sponge docks,
yes,
right?
Yes,
It's not Clearwater. I apologize. It's Tarpon Springs that has the sponge docks, not Clearwater. I apologize
it's
there.
A couple towns over. We got Dunedin.
It's close.
You got Clearwater.
Clearwater's just Newport Richie. A lot of great areas in that.
Some of the schools, Tarpon Springs Elementary School. I went to Governor Winslow School in Clearwater. So those are the two schools I lived in Florida for 5 years.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful area, and St. Pete. You're losing a great stadium.
No, not Governor Winslow School. That's in Marshfield. I'm sorry. Kings Highway. That was called. Governor Winslow School is in Marshfield. I'm
gonna be sad to see Tropicana Field go. Great stadium, the Rays play there, but the Rays are getting a new stadium. The Rays are getting a new state-of-the-art stadium. Tropicana Field's gonna be going away. I think it's gonna get demolished before the end of the decade, unfortunately. But a great event last night with WWE Royal Rumble. Again, broke records for Tropicana Field, and great night all around there. Okay, our Today in History. Don, are you ready for this? This is a big Today in History. Big stuff going on in Today in History today. Pretty important stuff too. 1915, an act of the U.S. Congress creates the U.S. Coast Guard as a branch of the United States Armed Forces. So today is your Coast Guard birthday.
That's good. My friend of mine, Billy, who was in the Coast Guard in the 70s, and Semper Farias, I guess. I hope I'm saying it right. If not, he'll yell at me.
Semper Fi?
No, that's the Marines.
No, sorry. That's the Marines.
Yeah, Semper
Farias?
Yeah. Always ready.
Okay. Okay.
And I believe
we gotta get our mottos correct.
Well, if we don't, we're gonna hear it.
We're gonna hear it from many people. Yes,
yeah,
so we better get our mottos correct.
And Semper Fi is they always faithful. I think I'm not sure. Mikayla will tell you that.
Yes, Mikayla will.
She's an ex-Marine, so yes.
All right, 1956. Elvis Presley makes his first national television appearance. He made many appearances. Kind of shocked the world in the 1950s with his dance moves. Kind of angered some people. But eventually people forgot about that and just enjoyed Elvis for who he is.
Right.
Great artist.
Yeah.
He had a really great career. He had some great shows that he did in the 70s when he was in really bad health. His last public concert was filmed. I believe that came out in the 70s.
77. He passed away in August.
That was in Las Vegas.
He passed away in August of 77, I believe. So I think it was 2 or 3 weeks before then.
Yes.
It's just too bad.
And he was in bad shape during that concert.
Yeah.
But the way he sung some of his hits during that concert was just remarkable and just amazing.
Yeah, you could be in the worst shape possible, but if you got the pipes and you can sing,
exactly,
you'll do it.
Yes. All right, 1958, the Lego Company parents the design of its Lego bricks, still compatible with bricks produced today. I really never played Lego bricks, but
My nephew.
I know the importance of Legos.
My nephew and your cousin Jay, when he was younger,
Yeah.
he was the Lego freak. He had Lego mountains and Lego skyscrapers and Lego this and I swear to God, I've never seen anyone had so many Lego. The kid was always building something. I'm not sure if he still has them. I mean, this is when he was 10 or 8 or something like that. But he might have his Lego somewhere. But I mean,
Yeah.
you could tell as a creator, he was a builder. Some of the stuff I said, what do you build this way? Oh, he built like a monster. He built a big truck. You know, I built this. I'll check this out.
Yeah.
It's just like, so wow. And man, I mean,
Yeah.
I remember Legos when I was a kid, and it was pretty basic, but
Yeah.
it was fun.
Yep. 1960, the National Football League announces expansion teams for Dallas to start in the 1960 NFL season, and for Minneapolis, St. Paul, which the St. Paul part doesn't exist anymore, but Minneapolis is still around. The Minneapolis, not Minneapolis, no. Minnesota is still around, but you got the Vikings. Minneapolis, I don't know what team that was, but that team's no longer around. Minneapolis, St. Paul is no longer around. But that was for the 1961 season. Dallas is still around, though.
You want some useless
Got the
information?
Cowboys.
How about
Yes.
some useless information?
What is that?
Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Yes.
That's where the Mary Tyler Moore show is. Took place. That's where she.
That
lived.
is
That's where she lived.
pretty important information.
I think so.
Yeah. All right. 1985, Supergroup USA for Africa, United Support of Artists for Africa records the hit single "We Are the World" to help raise funds for the Ethiopian famine relief. Michael Jackson, I think Janet Jackson, was in that video.
Everyone
as well.
was in that. Everyone was in that video. Oh, it was so great. That was such a great video. It was a heartwarming song. I still turn up when I hear it, and it's everyone was in it. Everybody was in it. I mean, you could. We don't have enough time in the show to list all those people.
And a sad today in history, January 28th, 1986, during the shuttle program, STS-51 mission, Space Shuttle Challenger, disintegrates after liftoff, killing all 7 astronauts on board. And those 7 astronauts were Gregory Jarvis, Christina McAuliffe, who was a teacher
in Concord, New Hampshire.
Yeah. Ronald McNair, Elysian Okazuka, I think that's how you pronounce her last name. Judith Resnick, Dick Scobie, and Michael J. Smith were the 7 who were.
I remember
killed.
that day that happened. I was in school, and my shop teacher, Mr. Luongo, Carmelo, was sitting there, and we're sitting like in the shop, in the vocational shop at Quincy Hotel. And I'm sitting there, and we're just sitting like outside. He comes out of the office. The space shuttle just, and then within 20 minutes, they put TVs everywhere, and then everyone was just glued to the TV. And then the speech that Ronald Reagan said was pretty inspiring. So
Okay, we got our Today in History. Today in History's done. Our birthdays today. George S. Boutwell, American lawyer and politician, the 28th United States Secretary of the Treasury. He's from Massachusetts. He served as Secretary of the Treasury under U.S. President Ulysses S. Grant, the 20th Governor of Massachusetts as well. George S. Boutwell was a senator and representative from Massachusetts as well. So yeah, he was a senator, he was governor, and he was a representative from the state of Massachusetts. George S. Boutwell, very important figure. He was also the first commissioner of the Internal Revenue under President Abraham Lincoln. So that was an important position there in the Lincoln administration. He was a leader in the impeachment of U.S. President Andrew Johnson and served as House Manager, prosecutor in the impeachment trial of Andrew Johnson. Born in Brookline, Massachusetts, and he passed away in, is it Groton, Massachusetts, or Groton?
What?
Is it Groton, Massachusetts? Or
Yeah,
Groton.
Groton. No, it's Groton.
It's Groton. Okay.
Yeah, it's up north central. It's north of of Air and Fort Devens and Shirley up that way. Yep.
1912, Jackson Pollock, American painter, born on this day in 1912. 1949, born on this day, Greg Popovich, American basketball player and coach, the still head coach of the San Antonio Spurs. You know, San Antonio Spurs are kind of in a dark era right now, but Greg Popovich, he's a great coach. You know, they've had success under him. I think they've won a championship under him, maybe more than one. And he is a really great coach. 1978, Sheamus, born on this day, Irish wrestler, one of many that is in the company of WWE. 1998, Ariel Winter, American actress. She was in Modern Family. She was in a great movie with Burt Reynolds. His last movie Burt Reynolds put out, I believe, or one of the last movies Burt Reynolds put out, The Last Movie Star. And that was a great movie. She was in that as well. She played a main role in that movie. Ariel Winter, great actress. Born on this day, 1998. Passings on this day, we have Jeff Nichols passing away on this day in 2017. He was keyboardist, the ghost member of Black Sabbath. You know, he was there for a while.
He was like the fifth Beatle in a way.
Yeah, he was like the fifth. He was like the fifth guy. Or whatever.
He started his career in 1980, and then went on. So I mean, he had a lot to do with the songwriting, bass playing. He did a lot.
All right, we're gonna take our last commercial break right now. When we come back, we are gonna have talking about some blood drives. We're gonna talk about probably a couple other things here. The time we have left as well. So we'll be right back here on Middleboro Review on 1530 AM, 99.7 FM, WBF.
Hey, it's up to you. You might have time if you want to read this. That's the speech that Reagan did. It's a short speech. You can read that in about 2 minutes. You want to read that? That's the speech when the space shuttle challenged him. Read that. That's a good speech, dude. It's easy too. It'll take you 2 minutes, and you get you 3 blood drives.
Well, I read kind of slow.
Church in Middleboro serves the residents of the towns of Middleboro, Lakeville, Carver, and Rochester. Our base of operations is in the lower level of the parish hall on Oak Street, directly across the street from Sacred Heart Church in downtown Middleboro. At this time, we serve approximately 500 families in our service area, and many of them come to us for various types of aid. This can take many forms and include many of the following programs: utilities and rent assistance, agency referrals, clothing and furniture vouchers, and temporary lodging. For more information, go to svdbmiddleboro.org. May the good Lord bless you and keep you safe.
Oftentimes, the wheelchairs our veterans and first responders receive from their healthcare providers are subpar at best. Some are falling apart with a years-long waiting list for a new one. This lag causes a tremendous amount of stress for our heroes and creates a burden for their caregivers. Isolation leads to depression, We build what they need to get outdoors, hunting, fishing, or playing sports. Join the mission at wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Come on. Find 242, enter.
Matthew Mission Food Pantry helps people with food insecurities from the hardships of life. In a few short years, they have given more than 4,000 bags of groceries to those in need. For guests with limited transportation options, they are open every Saturday morning from 9:30 to 11:30 at the north door of the First Parish Church.
I'm up against it, man.
And are available to anyone.
Come on, you can read that.
I'm up against it.
Joe, you can read that. That's important to read. Come on. Heck with the blood press.
I read slow.
So what? Just read it.
I have to get.
Alright, whatever.
If I could read it at the beginning of the show next week,
Ugh.
that might be.
It's too late. Today's the day.
I'm up against it, man.
Just read it. Call it a day. Do the blood thing soon. It's important to read it, Joe. Yeah, it's up to you. It's right. You got 6 minutes to read it. You can do that in 3 minutes.
Gonna try to get them. We never talked about the championship games.
This is more important.
I know. It is. Alright, I just gotta kinda read a little bit faster.
Well, usually, yeah. Alright.
I'm not a fast reader. So that's why I'm worried. Alright. We won't have time to talk about it.
No, we'll just leave it at that.
We'll just leave it at that.
We'll talk about it.
Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, I plan to speak to you tonight to report on the state of the Union, but the events of earlier today have led me to change those plans. Today is a day of mourning and remembering. Nancy and I are pained to the core by the tragedy of the shuttle Challenger. We know we share this pain with all of the people of our country. This is truly a national loss. 19 years ago, almost to the day, we lost 3 astronauts in a terrible accident on the ground, but we never lost an astronaut in flight. We never had a tragedy like this, and perhaps we've forgotten the courage it took for the crew of the shuttle, but they, the Challenger 7, were aware of the dangers, but overcame them and did their jobs brilliantly. We mourn 7 heroes: Michael Smith, Dick Scobie, Judith Resnick, Ronald McNair, Ellison Onizuka, Gregory Jarvis, and Christina McCullough. We mourn their loss as a nation together. For the families of the 7, we cannot bear, as you do, the full impact of this tragedy, but we feel the loss, and we are thinking about you so very much. Your loved ones were daring and brave, and they had the special grace, that special spirit that says, give me a challenge and I'll meet it with joy. They had a hunger to explore the universe and discover its truths. They wished to serve, and they did. They served all of us. We've grown used to wonders in this century. It's hard to dazzle us. But for 25 years, the United States space program has been doing just that. We've grown used to the idea of space, and perhaps we forget that we've only just begun. We're still pioneers. They are members of the Challenger crew. The members of the Challenger crew, were pioneers. And I wanted to say something to the school children of America who were watching the live coverage of the shuttle's takeoff. I know it is hard to understand, but sometimes painful things like this happen. It's all part of the process of exploration and discovery. It's all part of taking a chance and expanding man's horizons. The future doesn't belong to the faint-hearted. it belongs to the brave. The Challenger crew was pulling us into the future, and we'll continue to follow them. I've always had great faith in and respect for our shuttle program, and what happened today does nothing to diminish it. We don't hide our space program. We don't keep secrets and cover things up. We do it all up front and in public. That's the way freedom is, and we wouldn't change it for a minute. We'll continue our quest in space. There will be more shuttle flights and more shuttle crews, and yes, more volunteers, more civilians, more teachers in space. Nothing ends here. Our hopes and journeys continue. I want to add that I wish I could talk to every man and woman who works for NASA or who worked on this mission and tell them your dedication and professionalism have moved and impressed us for decades, and we know of your anguish. We share it. There is a coincidence today. On this day, 390 years ago, the great explorer Sir Francis Drake died aboard ship off the coast of Panama. In his lifetime, the great frontiers were the oceans, and an historian later said he lived by the sea, died on it, and was buried in it. Well, today we can say of the Challenger crew, their dedication was like Drake's, complete. The crew of the Space Shuttle Challenger, honored us by the manner in which they lived their lives. We will never forget them, nor the last time we saw them this morning as they prepared for their journey and waved goodbye, and slipped the surly bonds of earth to touch the face of God.
That speech was delivered by President Ronald Reagan on January 28th, 1986.
Thank you everyone for listening to today, and we'll be back next week with Chuck Hart. I'll be back on the air on Thursday with Eric Dunn. Bye everybody.
Good job, brother. Just made it. I like how you just came in and just started it. Boom, that's great. That would have been something to start out the show with. That would have been perfect. And then do you but whatever. It was good.
I wasn't thinking about it.
Well, it's all right. Can't think
I'm glad you brought it up.
Well, I remember Scott Mullen had it on his wall for years. You know what I'm saying? I remember every time I walked into his room, I looked at it, read it.
It's important. Yeah, I'm glad we did that. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad we did that. I'm glad we had just enough time to do it. I was worried that we weren't doing it.
Good. You did all right.
Because I don't read fast. So.
That's all right. You did good. I thought you did good.
Thank you.
You did good.
Mike Johnson, Speaker, he just said it's
the more you're under the gun, the better you are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
The more, you know?
Yep.
And that is partly because
Just because work better under pressure.
A little bit.
You really do.
Just a little.
You know, because we get a little lazy in us.
Yeah.
We'll get it done, but
we'll get it done. It might take us a long time. Yeah, it might take us a year to do it. We'll get it done. Bye, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.